A popular streamer has allegedly faked having cancer, and that's what we're going to be diving into in today's video. Strap yourselves in because this one, it's a bumpy ride. Today, we're diving into the story of one of YouTube's most well-known personalities, Boogie2988. Known for his engaging content and larger-than-life persona, Boogie has a prominent figure on YouTube community for years, but his journey hasn't been without its ups and downs, so let's take a closer look. Boogie2988, whose real name is Stephen Williams, started his YouTube channel in 2006, and he gained a massive popularity with his Francis character, a comedic portrayal of an angry gamer. His content ranges from gaming commentary to vlogs and discussions about mental health and personal stories. While Boogie's content has brought joy to millions, his career has also been marked by several controversies. The first being in 2017, where Boogie underwent gastric bypass surgery to address his obesity, sharing his journey with his audience. However, he faced criticism from some viewers who felt that he wasn't taking the process seriously or misrepresented the realities of weight loss surgery. Boogie has often been open about his struggles with mental health, but his transparency has sometimes led to backlash, like in 2018 when he made headlines with a controversial comment during an interview at VidCon, where he suggested that certain political issues were less important than others, sparking a heated online debate. And one of the most significant controversies came in 2020 when Boogie was involved in an altercation with fellow YouTuber Frank Hassel. This situation escalated when Boogie fired a warning shot to scare off Hassel, who had shown up at his home uninvited. This incident led to legal consequences and divided the opinions within the community. And in 2021, Boogie was arrested and charged with aggravated assault in connection with an incident. He later pleaded not guilty, and the case was brought to significant attention to the issues of harassment and self-defense for public figures. But despite these controversies, Boogie2988 remains a resilient figure in the YouTube world, and his journey highlights the complexities of internet fame and challenges that come with being a public figure. But the most recent allegations that have come out about Boogie2988 might be some of the most disgusting yet, as he was involved in a bit of a crypto scam in which fans of his were scammed out of $5,000 US. Okay, and a YouTuber by the name of Coffeezilla, who I've covered on this channel recently, he was getting sued by Logan Paul after Coffeezilla exposed his crypto scam as well with Crypto Zoo. That's another story though for another day. But Coffeezilla made a video talking about how Boogie2988 basically scammed his audience, and in response, Boogie2988 basically stated that he was undergoing cancer treatment and he had cancer, to which millions of people had significant sympathy for Boogie, because of course cancer is a lifelong issue for some. Sometimes it can lead to horrific, life-changing events, and it's one of those things where people are very delicate around the topic. But a popular streamer by the name of Destiny actually called out Boogie2988 for faking having cancer, allegedly. So let's take a little look at this article from Sportskeeda. So Destiny confronts Boogie2988 for allegedly faking his cancer. The YouTuber later deactivates his social media, and we are talking about Boogie here. So a new chapter has unfolded for Stephen, quote, Boogie2988 controversy, as the Kick streamer Destiny confronted him live on stream. For those unaware, Destiny accused Boogie2988 of faking his cancer diagnosis on July 10th, 2024, claiming that the 49-year-old was absolutely lying about his health. Well, earlier today, July 11th, 2024, Destiny collaborated with Felix XQC and confronted Boogie during his live podcast. According to the Nebraska native, the YouTuber's testosterone would not cause the development of polycythemia, Destiny elaborated. However, when Boogie was talking about polycythemia, he mentioned a couple of things that I thought were interesting. The first was that that taking an exogenous hormone, TRT, testosterone, that caused an increase in developing his condition. So taking testosterone will not cause you to develop cancer. Not for this particular cancer, it won't. The political commentator brought up the doctor's advice to conduct a sleep study on Boogie, saying, "It will cause you to develop secondary polythysemia." The second thing that he mentioned was that his doctor ordered a sleep. That's because one of the things that can cause your body to produce more red blood cells if you have hypoxemia, which is a low amount of oxygen in your blood for an extended period of time. Destiny speculated the doctor ordered a sleep study to determine whether the YouTube veteran had sleep apnea. The reason he ordered the sleep study is probably because Boogie is either pulmonary obstructive something, or he has, as he mentioned, sleep apnea. And sleep apnea is where you decrease in oxygen overnight, and it can lead to a decreased oxygen in your blood, which can increase the production of red blood cells. All of these things that Boogie described, both things caused his, and the treatment for it are consistent with the secondary polythysemia. Alright, and this was the clip in which he was called out in. Here it is.
However, when Boogie was talking about the polycythemia, he mentioned a couple things that I thought were interesting. The first was that taking an exogenous hormone, TRT, testosterone, that caused a increase in him developing this condition. So taking testosterone will not cause you to develop a cancer. That doesn't, not for this particular cancer, it won't. It will cause you to develop secondary polycythemia. The second thing that he mentioned was that his doctor ordered a sleep study. That's because one of the things that can cause your body to produce more red blood cells is if you have hypoxemia, which is a lower count of, or a low amount of oxygen in your blood for an extended period of time. And the reason why he ordered that sleep study is probably because Boogie either has pulmonary obstructive something, or he has, as he mentioned, sleep apnea.
Can you see Boogie's like body language here? He's like hurrying him along. Like this is like almost as if there is an element of truth potentially behind what's being said to him right now.
And sleep apnea, which is a decrease in oxygen overnight, can lead to a decrease in oxygen in your blood, which can lead to an increase in the production of red blood cells. All of the things that Boogie described, both the things that cause this and the treatments for it, are consistent with secondary polycythemia.
Now, this clip does actually come from a further podcast that took place live over on Kick, but it is on the Asmongold TV YouTube channel. So it's Boogie2988 confronted after lying about his cancer, and it's a 30-minute clip that I'm not going to include the entire thing, so I will link this video down in the description if you want to go and check it out for yourself. But that is basically the, well, that's basically it. But this is a new low, apparently, according to Keemstar, as he commented on the Boogie after he disabled his social media after Destiny confronted him. So Boogie actually did delete his Twitter account and everything after he was called out. Now, Keemstar runs this podcast alongside Boogie. Now, Keemstar's a very controversial figure in YouTube as it is. He, of course, runs the very popular Drama Alert YouTube channel. And he runs this podcast alongside Boogie and a couple of other people. And Keemstar has always been on the defensive of Boogie. He's always been at his side. He's always defended him. But obviously this is kind of, well, this is a new low, really. So the day Destiny confronted Boogie about allegedly fabricating his cancer diagnosis, the YouTuber deactivated his official X account. The following messages appears when you try and access the account. This account doesn't exist. Try searching for another. Drama Alert and Locale Live, which is the podcast that they run together. Podcast host Daniel Keemstar has also commented on the situation, posting, "In my 15 years on YouTube, I can't think of one popular YouTuber that's lied about having cancer. This is a new low." At the time of writing, Boogie has not responded to the allegations, and what he says remains to be seen. Now, you're probably thinking, well, that's pretty bad, isn't it? That's you know, lying about having cancer to try and get like sympathy, donations, and all the rest of it, and get yourself out of controversy. That's disgusting behaviour, horrific behaviour. Nobody should be doing that, because there are genuine people in this world that get that kind of diagnosis daily, and it changes their lives forever, and it changes the lives of their families forever. So for the people that do truly suffer from cancer and have had that diagnosis and that horrific news sat in that doctor's office, this is probably quite infuriating for those people, because someone is using a genuine disease or condition that these people suffer from and changes theirs and their families' lives forever to try and garner sympathy. Disgusting behaviour. But it doesn't end there. Of course it doesn't. As Coffeezilla has made a follow-up video confronting Boogie on the fake cancer payments. Now, Coffeezilla, this man right here, has already confronted Boogie regarding the scam, right? So he scammed his fans out of $5,000. Well, this was the follow-up to that, and how that money is actually being spent. Here it is.
A YouTuber we accused of a crypto scam just got accused of faking cancer.
You are faking your cancer diagnosis, Boogie.
Despite being offered a total of $80,000 to prove everyone wrong if he could show his diagnosis to a private third party,
Now, why would you not do that? If you've got a diagnosis, again, it goes to a private third party company, so it wouldn't get published to the world. You just prove yourself, and they offered him $80,000 if he could prove that he had it. Surely that's a no-brainer, right?
refused to do so, which is annoying because publicly he uses his cancer as a shield from any wrongdoing. In fact, when I confronted Boogie on his crypto scam, that's one of the reasons he used.
I'm in pretty dire need of money. I have a lot of medical bills, and I'm fighting cancer.
And more specifically, why he had to promote the coin and couldn't pay back $5,000.
The money's already spent. It's at Mercy Hospital right now. It's gone. I used it to pay debts.
I'll be honest, I have no idea if Boogie is faking cancer. I also don't understand why he wouldn't just show it if he had a diagnosis, but either way, we won't know without an actual doctor involved. So I won't speculate on that, but what I can do is confront Boogie on this second claim, the cancer and medical bills, because I found out a few days ago that these statements were false. I know this because Boogie gave us a timeline of when he got paid in the first place. So when were you paid the $5,000?
Now this is where the video gets really, really interesting, because Coffeezilla is a fantastic investigator and journalist, right? He's probably one of the best on YouTube, if not the best. He is fantastic at what he does, and you know, he's undisputed in his evidence and his findings. So, you know, when this man talks, people listen.
5 days ago?
Later, I verified with Boogie this payment occurred on June 19th. And when Boogie said all the money was gone on June 26th, that gives us a window of time where he should have receipts for about $5,000 of medical expenses. Boogie, when I asked, agreed to share these expenses with me, and the following conclusions are based on him providing accurate records, which...
Now, this is a bit of a tangent, but it's something that I wanted to talk about. Obviously, from being in the UK, we have our NHS service, which I actually think is the beating heart of this country, and being in the UK, because we are so blessed to be able to walk into a hospital and receive treatment. Yeah, we pay our national insurance, which is, you know, your monthly, I guess, payment to get that service, but I would hate to be in the States where, and I use the States as an example because I know that's where you have medical bills for sure, and you know, get this kind of diagnosis, and then that's a dread in itself that you've got cancer, but then to think that you've got the medical bills on top of that, like you know, in the UK, you, unless you go private or go specialist, you can get cancer treatment for free, sort of. You know, you pay your national insurance, but still you can get it for free, and it's, you know, I just feel so lucky to be in that position, and I can't imagine how hard that would be. You know, showing a bit of sympathy to Boogie if this is true, you know, being in that kind of a position.
I know is a dubious idea, but when he shared what he had, it fell far short of even what I was expecting. He gave me 2 receipts for the time period, one for $154, the other for a copay of $60, a total of $214 by the time we talked. So where did the rest of the money go? Well, Boogie claimed that it was really intended for medical expenses after we spoke, and that when he said the money was gone, he meant it colloquially and then accused me of lying. Wait, that's on June 28th. That's on June 28th. You showed me a payment for $550 on June 28th, which is after we talked, after you told me the money was all gone.
Yes! Have you never heard of the colloquialism? Yeah, that money's all gone, it's all spent. I have a specific thing I need to do with it. Have you never heard that colloquialism? Use fucking Google then!
Wow, you can hear the defense in his passionate voice there. I mean, he is pissed.
It's very common!
I'm saying...
I'm not used to this level of scrutiny. I'm
I
not
can
used
tell.
to this level of
Yes.
scrutiny.
I mean, Boogie is used to this level of scrutiny. I mean, he is very controversial, and he has been for a very, very long time. So he is used to this level of controversy. Maybe not to this kind of scale, where people are accusing him of not having cancer, which, by the way, is unfounded claims. This is all, speculative right now. But it doesn't look good when you're offered $80,000 to just clear your name, to say, hand over information from a doctor or a diagnosis to a doctor or a third party company, and just say that just says, your cancer diagnosis, for example. But then you add on top of that the reaction that Boogie's giving right now, and it looks a little bit suspicious, doesn't it? It does look suspicious, like he's got something to hide.
Yes. Okay, so I have a big problem with this, because looking back at what Boogie said, it wasn't just the money's gone, which already means very specifically the money's gone, but he also says the money's at Mercy Hospital right now, which is a colloquialism I've never heard before if you mean it's not at Mercy Hospital.
It's at Mercy Hospital right now.
But even being as charitable as I can, adding in everything he calls medical expenses outside of our time window, like there was an $1,000 credit card payment. Okay, we'll just say that's medical, right? He's still only able to get me to about $2,500 worth of medical expenses for the month, most of it not to Mercy Hospital, which I wondered about. Did he need the fatty coin then, from where I was sitting, instead of having spent the money on medical bills?
Fatty coin is the scam that Boogie was, involved within.
It looked like he saved most of it because of his starting and ending bank balances for the month. Wait, you're taking...
a fucking liar.
You paid about $2,500. Like you're also talking about money you haven't spent, which you're trying to add up to $3,000. That's not the $5,000 you said was gone. And then you're taking...
Well, I told you it was $4,000 when we started this conversation, but of course you're lying about that too.
Boogie, can you explain exactly how you started the month with $800, ended it with $5,000? You're saying the $5,000 you made from a crypto scam has nothing to do with it.
I saved my ass off.
That's right. The $5,000 Boogie made from a crypto scam has nothing to do with the $5,000 sitting in his bank account right now. That's there because he pinched his pennies. Now, when I pointed out Boogie could have refunded the scam if he wanted to, he freaked out and told me he's got a mortgage to pay. Boogie.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting, and this is also where Keemstar plays a role within this.
You need to pay that $5,000 back. You need to find a way to refund people.
It's spent. If I do, I won't have...
It's not spent. You have $5,000.
No, well, I can't. I won't have mortgage.
But this is totally shifting the goalposts. Remember, the reason we were told the money was at Mercy Hospital right now, that was initially. Now it's because he's got a mortgage. But also, Boogie had showed me his income for the last month, and it looked to me like the podcast is what paid for his mortgage. And so I asked, wouldn't that money pay for your mortgage? Boogie said, this month it wouldn't, because he had to go on a special trip, and his co-host was withholding all the money for that month.
Do you understand?
You're not getting a Where's your podcast payment coming from? You got that on the 30th.
It's being fucking kept so we can go for this goddamn trip. The money's coming out of my goddamn paycheck.
So you're going on a trip.
Yes, I'm being forced to go up there to film the fucking podcast live. I told him I didn't want to. He told me the business was going to pay for it. And then he just said he's taking it out of the check.
Now later, I asked his co-host Keemstar about this, and he seemed surprised. He said the show definitely pays for Boogie's mortgage, so I was confused. Later, Boogie was confronted on this by his co-hosts, and Boogie suggested maybe I edited the clip out of context.
Now this is where it gets real interesting, because Boogie is fighting every avenue, from the looks of it, to just throw anybody under the bus to keep himself from any kind of backlash. He's got this money, but it's spent at Mercy Hospital. Alright, or Mercy Hospital, sorry. Alright, so, what money are you living on? Well, I saved $5,000 because I pinched my pennies. Okay, so that money could be used to to pay back the victims, right? Because then your medical bills are covered and you can pay back the victims. So, you know, slate clean. No, I can't do that because it's got to cover my mortgage. All right, but what about your other source of income, being the podcast, which pays your mortgage? Oh, well, I didn't get paid for that because, you know, I was going on a trip and they took that from my expenses. So I didn't get paid anything at all that month because I'm going on the trip. Okay, so I'll speak to Keemstar about that. And then Keemstar's like, hang on, we did pay his mortgage. So it's clear to see that, you know, he's using every trick in the book to try and shift the blame, move the goalposts, change the narrative to shift it away from him. And then it all comes down to, oh, but I've got cancer, so you can't pick on me right now because, you know, I'm undergoing this treatment. And it's just a bit shifty.
You told him that you weren't getting paid from this show. He played the fucking recording because he recorded you.
Then what? Then I understand that. Do you think people can edit things to be a little bit out of context?
Well, if he wants to play that game, here's the clip where Boogie directly says it. He says he's not getting paid.
Boogie, you could have gotten through this month without the crypto scam, is what I'm saying.
And I could have not paid my friend back for covering my medical bills.
No. You.
And I couldn't. No, listen.
Well, I've seen your bank statement, so I know.
Because you're ignoring
I know
the
what's
fact
going to
that
happen.
I need to pay mortgage.
Yes, your
on
mortgage,
Monday.
right? Which should have come from the
There's no more
podcast.
money coming in. There's no more money coming in between now and then.
Which should have come,
Understand that?
but it should have come from the podcast. It's not.
Right, because I'm not getting paid this month because I have to travel to do an on-location shoot.
This guy is so manipulative. He has managed to move the story from the money's at Mercy Hospital right now to, well, I have $2,500 of medical expenses at some point in the month to, well, the reason I'm ending the month with $5,000 is because I'm such a great saver and I needed to pay my mortgage to, no, actually that mortgage was paid for too. The last point I want to address is the accusations he made against me on his show. He says he should have never taken a call with me. He says I recorded him without his consent, despite me telling him up front.
So this is the message that was sent to Boogie. I'll scroll it down here. Well, I'll be discussing this publicly. Would you like to comment on the story? I can give you a call to explain yourself. So, you know, to me, that would indicate that this was going to be recorded and that it would be going public.
This was all going to be...
Also, if you're going to speak to a YouTuber like Coffeezilla, you can't expect that he's just going to take the good nature and time out of his day to do this. No, he's going to get paid for it. He's going to post it to YouTube. It's content at the end of the day, and it's good content at that, so...
public, and that I was approaching him for comment. This guy now acts like I tricked him.
I should have never talked to Coffeezilla to begin with. It was a joke, Coffeezilla.
Who told you that?
Of course you fucking did. Much less the second fucking time. Then in this, by the way, Coffeezilla records you without telling you he records you.
That's not
Name
true.
a
He
YouTuber does that.
he told
No,
me.
he did in the first time. In the first time.
Well,
even his co-host, even Boogie's co-host is like, no, he told you. He told you. No, but the first time he did, but the second time, he told you.
I think it's worth showing you then how he talked about me behind the scenes when he spoke with me, because it was very different to what he's saying now. Now he's saying I'm taking him out of context, that he didn't know what was going on. Here's what he was saying back then.
Amount of integrity. I really, really appreciate it.
Hey, no. I mean, to be honest, I'm happy to do it. It's something that I really like people to know ahead of time. I mean, it's not... Yeah. I try to play a long game with YouTube. I'm not interested in, like, a quick video. Yeah. Like, who cares? Like, I'd rather, you know, you look better and you get your point across than...
Thank you. And it shows that you have the integrity that I believe you did. 110%. It means so much. Many YouTubers would not have done that for me, and you did, and I think that's incredible. And I even, no matter what you have to say in this video, I'll never have a bad thing to say about you.
No matter what you say about me in this video, I will never have a bad thing to say about you. Less than, like, 48 hours later, the video comes out and he's blasting Coffeezilla on his podcast. Crazy.
Even on the show, even on the local podcast where my job is going to be to attack you back, I'm just not going to do it. I'm like, no, I think Coffee was fair. I'll be genuine, okay?
Okay, thanks, man.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
Of course.
All right.
I really appreciate you. Thank you, man.
Have a good night. Have a good night.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. You literally can't make this stuff up. So, what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Like I say, as of right now, there is no confirmation that Boogie is lying about his cancer diagnosis. But there is also no evidence to support the fact that he does, in fact, have this. And people will probably turn around and say, well, what does it matter if, like, he doesn't have to prove himself? Well, when you've scammed people to the degree that Boogie has out of $5,000, and those victims deserve to be paid back, and then when you're called out for it, you state that you've got cancer, so that's the reason why you're not, it's almost like a get out of jail free card. It's messed up. It's really messed up. And, you know, people deserve, you know, I'm sure for a fact that if Boogie posted and he was like, here is my cancer diagnosis, and it was genuine and authenticated by this third-party source, people would turn around and be like, look, Boogie, I'm sorry. All right, you know, like, yes, you've got cancer. That's really shit for you, you know. But, I mean, he'll still be held accountable by people like Coffeezilla to pay back those victims, but it would be, you know, a bit more lenient as opposed to kind of cutthroat down the line. But, like I say, what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. While you're down there, be sure to jump to get the hell out of that like button if you have not already. Subscribe if you're new. Tick on my little bell so you get notified whenever we upload to the channel. And until next time, guys, I hope you have enjoyed. And I'll speak to you later. Peace.